welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Romance Nights. We are your hosts, Colleen.
And I'm Marjorie. For tonight's episode, we have USA Today best-selling author Trisha Wolfe. From an early age, Trisha dreamed up fictional words and characters and has been accused of talking to herself. Welcome to the podcast. Before we jump into your world of books, let's get to know you a little bit.
All right, well, hey, Kolleen and Marjorie, thank you guys so much for having me. Again, I'm just super excited to be here. Thank you.
No problem. So let's start with how you got into your writing journey. How did all of that begin?
Well, probably, lifelong reader, honestly. I think that the first time I ever decided that I truly wanted to be an author was after reading Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire when I was 14. That was the novel that made me just kind of look up and go, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to make people feel, this feeling right here. And ever since then, I think I have just been striving to achieve that, to hopefully make people feel something, that sense of awe and wonder while they're reading.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I definitely get that from your books, especially because there's always so much mystery and suspense in it. It's like you can't even guess where it's going to go and what's going to happen.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that because that is exactly what I'm going for while I'm writing them. I don't even know until we get to the end.
I will definitely say that's with Born Darkly, that duet, as well as the trilogy. Oh my gosh, I forgot the name.
You are good. I have a hard time. I forget my characters' names. I forget everything. I just start calling everybody Callum from here on out because he's the one that's most prevalent in my brain and invading. So it's Hollows Road trilogy, and it's all Callum's story. Credit goes to Callum.
Those were, when I was reading those, I remember like, I feel like this is what's gonna happen, and then as you read, it's like, okay, I'm totally like wrong, and you're just like, just give me the next book so I can like stop thinking and like analyzing what's gonna happen, and actually like, but I enjoyed the ride though, like those serial killer mystery type thing. I love those, and I think that's how I fell in love with your writing, is with the serial killer romances.
No, that's fair. Thank you. I have the same kind of feeling too, like when I'm watching like Dexter or anything. It's like, you're not supposed to, but you just can't help it.
I know. Well, this is super cringy, and I am going to admit it. So I was always in love with Raymond Reddington, The Blacklist.
Yeah,
What is
okay,
his name?
gotcha.
Is it James Spader? James Spader?
It is James Spader, yes. Okay.
Because I remember him from the 80s. So I was like, always rooting for him.
Oh, me too. Me too. 80s girl right here. He was so good at being the bad guy, right?
Oh, God. Pretty in Pink, right? Steph.
Yes.
It was terrible.
I was not supposed to like him there, but I couldn't help it. He just,
I know.
It was just so hot how arrogant he was.
I know.
And
the hair.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it stands for, like us liking, dark romance, whether you're reading or writing it. I think it's almost like taboo to like the villain, like the bad guy, but we're all rooting for the bad guy half the time.
Well, exactly, because, we know that the bad guy's going to do the bad things and all the stuff, right? But they usually have a good reason for doing it. And it's usually because they are there to make some wrong in their life or somebody else's life right. And when they find that one person that just does it for them, nothing will get in their way. And everybody wants to feel like that, right? Everybody wants that one person that will do anything for them. So, yeah.
So back to your career stuff. Over here.
We can talk about serial killers all night. It's cool.
No. Did you have another career prior to become a full-time author, or is it just full-time author from the get-go?
I do. I actually have another full-time job. My husband and I, we run a small business together. So when I'm not writing, I'm constantly doing that. I'm constantly doing one or the other.
Right.
Um, busy.
Y-
Yeah.
y- Yes. So when people are like, "Oh, she's just acts frazzled," there's no act. We're always frazzled. We're always one brain cell short of just falling apart.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm afraid to ask the next question. Um, when you do have free time, do you have any hobbies?
I do like to crochet when I have a little bit of downtime. I enjoy crocheting. I love watching TV, obviously reading. Trying to think if I have any other hobbies. I don't know, randomly things will come up. I'll do the music, obviously. Um, but having a small business and then trying
Yeah.
to write also, I think I pretty much do both of those. Like after this, I'll go in and I have some other work to do for the company that I'll do until about like 9 or 10 o'clock, and then I'll probably put on an audiobook and fall asleep listening to the audio, wake up at 2 a.m., realize I've reached like chapter 30, and then I'll subconsciously have like characters running around in my brain all day tomorrow. Then we'll write and so it kind of flip flops. But if I
Yeah.
really need some downtime where I just kind of want to think and I don't want to, because I'm also I have OCD, right? So I'm constantly trying to keep my brain busy so I'm not like doing some compulsions. And I found that doing that crochet, I'm not very good at it. I can do like little knits and like hats and stuff, right? So
Mhm.
having my hands be busy and it allows my brain to kind of think. It relieves a lot of stress, right? So I have really enjoyed that.
Yeah. And you know what you could do if you end up with an overabundance of hats? You can always you can always donate them to the hospital.
Oh
Only
my
because
gosh, really?
well, where I used to live in New York when I had my daughter, they came in and brought her to me, and I was like, "Oh no, that's not mine. She didn't have that hat on. She's not mine." And they said, "No, there's people that donate like crocheted hats for the newborns."
Oh my God, that's so amazing. Well, first of all, that's so sweet. Thank you. I did not know that. That's good to know because I had like a whole shelf in my closet that's just like a bunch of like crocheted like
Yeah.
scarf. Like I tell you what, I learned how to do something and I just compulsively do it. So there's scarves and beanies. That's like it, right? I used to just fling stuff at readers in my group, like, "Hey guys, I
Yeah.
got another beanie. Here you go. Here's a book and a beanie."
I
So
love
I will
that.
look into that. Thank you, Colleen. I love that actually.
Put them on like PR boxes.
Yeah.
Random.
So
Um
it's I have enough. I actually learned how to crochet these cute little bookmarks, right? So when I first opened
Oh.
my signed bookshop, I was like just crocheting like crazy, making these bookmarks, and I would just put them, and they're like, "Oh my God, look what I got from Trisha Wolfe!" And it's like a crocheted bookmark. I'm like, I had to start giving them away at some point.
It's
but
funny.
that's a cute like surprise kind of,
No,
Yeah.
sweet.
it is. I felt like readers liked it because it was a personal touch. So yeah.
Hmm.
Um okay, I know you said Anne Rice was the one that, got you started in like reading and or yeah, reading and wanting to write as a career. Do you have other like favorite authors?
I do. I could probably go on a tangent. What era? Let's see.
Oh.
Current ones, obviously Pam Godwin, Carrie
Hmm.
Lake. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of anything else off the top of. I'm sorry, my brain's skipping right now. Um, I think it's Gabrielle Sands. I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong. She writes amazing mafia. Um,
Oh.
I just have like a slew.
Hmm.
Like I could go down, but I also am really bad with names. Um, so I'll go pick up books and I'll have like collections. Like I do Kindles and I do audiobooks, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I would need to go through my Kindle and look 'cause I'm bad about naming names off the top of my head. But right off the top of my head, those are my favorite like current authors right now.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
love like hundreds of authors. There's so many great work.
Yeah. Now, do your Your friends and family know that you write the books that you do, and do they read them?
They do. They know what I
Oh,
write.
good.
I think my dad was super supportive. So my very first book
Oh.
came out, I think it was back in, I'm gonna say 2012, with a small press. And it was actually a YA steampunk because I started off in young adult. And
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised that he actually bought the book and read it. I was like, oh, thanks, Dad.
Aw.
Since since
Awesome.
then, though, yeah, I mean, I think that my writing's a little bit, I've kind of like grown into a darker uh air with my serial killers and stuff. So I don't think they really read it now, but they're also very busy. So, but it's fine. It's cool. They were there to support me in the beginning. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I love that. I always love to ask that question because I like to see like how many people's friends and family know the stuff that they write and if they've read them. I don't think my parents would read anything if I wrote.
Well, I mean, it just depends too, because I don't think that they understand. The way that to people books are like movies or songs or entertainment or something, right?
Hmm.
They don't understand the depth that it is when you write something, which you put your heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
Right.
So they want to be supportive, like, oh yeah, I got your book, but they don't understand it, to the depth of reading the book and really experiencing
Yeah.
it. And that's fine, and we shouldn't expect them to, you know. Like I said, I think my parents were very supportive when I came out with my first book and everything, and they're like, this is kind of your thing, right? Are you just going to keep releasing books? Like they kind of expected me to quit after that. Like, hey, you got an agent, you got a publisher, like that was supposed to be like the goal. And when I kept going with book after book, they were just kind of like, oh, so this is going to be like you're going to do this all the time. So I understand not wanting to read every book afterwards. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody.
Right. That's weird. I was like, it would be like kind of funny if actually all authors, once they get to like, it's actually published one book, like just stop. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that,
Yeah.
it's kind of like to them, like, hey, you wrote a book. Because I mean, like, look, less than 1% of the world's population actually gets to that point where they finish and complete a book, right?
Yeah.
So many people want to write a book. So when you actually know somebody in your family, friends or family, who actually do that, that's kind of like, oh, that's endgame. Yeah, you did that. You did that one thing, right?
right.
But for people who are really just like, I'm going to use the word obsessed, okay? I think that if you are a writer and you are a lover of the written word and fiction, a reader, writer, you have to be not only in love with it, but you have to be obsessed to
Right.
in order to continue to go year after year, day after day, right? Because it's a little bit I would think masochistic, honestly, to be a writer. Like we torture ourselves every day, and they're like, "Why are you doing it to yourself?" Like, I love it. I don't know.
Right.
So, but you have to be obsessed with it, and I don't think a lot of people can really understand the obsession on that level.
Yeah.
So as long as they're there for you in your life and they kind of deal with your, you know, insanity, hey, that's all we really need, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I never
Definitely.
thought it that way. How like you know how you said it, like you have to be obsessed because in order, I feel like in order to put book after book, you have like you have to be kind of like have to one up yourself from the previous book because it has to
Hmm.
be different. It's not always
No,
the
yeah,
same.
that's perfect.
Mm.
Exactly. You have to continue to one up yourself. I love that. Yeah.
Um. So we'll kind of switch to publishing. How many books do you kind of typically release in a year? Like I guess versus from when you started to kind of now.
Um, I think that I'm working, I think I kind of lost track. Okay, so I think Lovesick is either number 34 or 35. I think it's book number 34 for me. So, which that is not a huge backlist. There are so many authors, so many of my colleagues that have just, oh my goodness. Like again, another favorite author of mine, Jenica Snow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That she can write and she can produce a book, right? And I think she's currently like up in the 300s, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm just like, how do you keep
Wow.
doing? You know what I mean? Like, so yes, the obsession to keep putting the books out. And she's a fantastic writer. And so when I think about my backlist compared to some of my colleagues out there who have, books in the hundreds, I'm always like, I got a small backlist. And then I talk to somebody else and I'm like, but you've written 34 books. So, it's weird from where you're coming at it, right? So
Yeah.
typically, I went through a phase where I was putting out between 3 and 4 books a year, which for me is many. Okay, I'm a slow
Yeah.
writer. I'm very slow at writing. So for me, that was like, whoo, I was doing nothing but writing. It was a lot. Now I'm currently releasing 1 book a year, and that's kind of my rhythm and speed right now. And that's where I kind of want to stay because that allows me to be able to research and write the kind of books that I want to write right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
makes
think
sense.
that makes sense. Yeah, right? Like,
Mm.
I'm trying to think, Marjorie, when we usually interview people, we like to ask this question because we just like to see the diversity in it. I think it's usually average three to
Three to
four,
five.
but
Yeah.
bear in mind, is the book this or is it this?
Right.
And, what's the genre, subgenre? And so I think it's just not a blanket answer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It depends on, yeah, what genre. Like, is your book going to be 200 pages or
Yeah.
800 pages?
Yeah. Right.
Fantasy is a little bit, different and more intricate for, the world that you're building, the magic systems that you're building versus, not to say one is easier or harder than the other. They all have, there's so many, because see, like my earlier career I wrote like, again, fantasy, young adult fantasy, and then I moved into dark fantasy. And,
Mhm.
it just, I could just spend hours, weeks researching, developing the world and the systems for everything. But turns out it's actually harder for me to write romance because romance is harder for me. So I can't really say one is easier than the other or evenly. It just depends on what kind of writer you are and, what level you're at. Is, I guess,
Mm.
if that makes sense. For me, romance actually is the most challenging thing for me to write. So,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. I, I, if you're used to one style and one type, I agree with you. I don't know that I could write romance that well. I don't know, something about it.
Well, for me, okay, so it's hard to explain, right? Like when I want to write these characters, like my 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 colleagues again, I've had like, authors along the way that have told me like, hey, I see what you're trying to do because I want to layer the romance and the plot together, right? And they're like, you're focusing
Hmm.
very heavy on the plot. And I understand, and we feel these from these characters, like these intimate moments between them, but you need to slow it down. Like I was so quick, to want to say like, okay, and then they kissed or they did something. They're like, no, we don't want to just see that they kiss. We want to feel the kiss. Okay, we want to feel the
Uh,
lips slowly brushing each other, the heat of the moment. So this was the challenging part to me to show those very I guess just I don't know, like the slow burn of it, I guess, right? The build
yeah.
up to it to really feel those, and that helps us connect too, because a lot of the things that the characters are thinking about during those moments, the build up to it, that's where we get to really understand how they feel about each other. And that's when I was like, that was like a light bulb coming on to me. I'm like, okay. So
Mm.
I could definitely see them like throughout your, either a standalone book that you wrote or like the series. It's that when they actually finally get together, it's like yes, you guys have been like circling each other this whole time. I'm just like, or like when Callum and oh my gosh, again names. I'm so
no, you're
sorry.
good.
I feel
No,
bad.
and again, it's me too. Like when you said with authors, I'm like, I love so many. I can't think of any names. No, it's Callum and Halen.
Yeah, that they were like circling each other for a while,
Hmm.
and then every time I would be like, "Oh, they're gonna do it," and then they're like, "No, not really, not today, not
Not yet.
today." And I was just like, "Oh, you need to like get together." But I could
I
kind of
do admit I like my torture a little bit. So.
like you could see Callum kind of like wanting to go for it, and then Halen is just like, "No, I'm a cop. I can't do this or whatever." Like I'm doing it. Yep. Bye. I'm going back. I'm going the other room.
Yeah,
Um,
that's funny. So Out of all the books that you've written, which one do you think was the most difficult to write and why?
I really want to say the Hollows Row series just because the plot devices in that book, everything that I had to connect in that
Mm,
series was so for the puzzle pieces to all like when the reader got if they make it to book three, um,
mm,
I wanted it to be like a domino effect. I wanted every single buildup, every single layer that was put together. I wanted that last chapter to be like, bum, 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 bum. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
really wanted readers to go like, oh, that and that and that and that. Like I wanted to hit hard, and then I wanted it to end on an emotional whiplash type feeling. And that's where I got the second epilogue from because Callum actually was the one that was like, hey, we could totally, time and space. Let's bring a little quantum mechanics into it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But up until Lovesick, the book that I'm writing right now.
Mm,
Because see, after I was done with Hollow's Row, I'm like, okay, there, I did. See, there's that moment of, okay, I did the thing. It's an accomplishment. All right, now I can move on. And somehow, when I went into the story wanting it to be a very simple romance, that's not what happened. So I would have to say, Lovesick is the most difficult thing to date that I've written.
okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember reading Hollow's Row like after the cliffhanger on book two. I was like, wait, you're gonna make me wait for book three? Like, what's happening over here? Like what?
And thank you so much for patiently waiting too.
Yeah,
'Cause
but you're just like, oh, like I was reading back to back book one, book two because I knew book three was gonna come out soon, but it's still kind of like, oh, I should have waited a little bit longer. So it's like that space of like, you're making me wait. But they're worth the wait though. I love them. So,
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Trust me, if I could have forced it out of my brain faster, believe me, I would have. The way that Callum drove me crazy.
I mean, Callum, what can we say? Say.
Yeah. So, like I said, well, we have Orion Knight now. Lovesick will be releasing this year, and I have to admit that I think he might be trying to take Callum's throne on who tortures me the most.
No.
So,
I mean, you've been teasing here and there. I was like, when is this coming out again?
well, I mean, technically, I haven't been writing the book the whole time. I think it's been like I want to say a year and 3 months or maybe longer. But I've actually because I put off doing a lot of other things while I was focusing on writing the Hollows Rose series. There was 6 books that I had to edit and rewrite for audio. So
Uh-huh.
I've actually been working on those and prepping them for audio. And I like Born Darkly was one of them. I actually extended scenes in that book. I added 7,000 words to it.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, because with the books, because when I wrote them and released them, like I think it was like 8 years ago, smaller books, you know, in romance.
Yeah.
And now I'm a little bit, hopefully I'm a better more, writer. And I looked at that book and I'm like, well, readers still really love this book. And I still really love London and Grace. And I'm like, but I can do better. See, one-upping ourselves, right? So I took some time out and I re-edited. I didn't change too much in it because readers love the story as it's, right? And I didn't want to do that. But I saw areas that I could expand on it and I could kind of, tidy it up in areas and make it a little bit better for audio also, because I've learned a lot working with producers. So there has been 2 books, 2 of my Mafia books when I revamped, re-edited, put into audio. The Darkly Madly duet, Cruel and Malady are about to release in audio. So all those 6 got done in between writing Lovesick. So there's been a lot.
A lot happening.
Marriage and Malice. I love those model covers, like the new one.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, yes.
yeah, I was just like, I need this in my show. Like, because you don't see a lot of like couples all the time. Um,
Hmm.
we always see, like it's either the man or the female main character, but not all the time. So like when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, I love that cover, especially that pop up.
No, yeah, no, thank you for saying that. Like, me too. I love couple covers, and I noticed that a lot of people say that they're not as popular, but those too. Like Michelle Lancaster, she's the photographer.
Yeah.
She did a beautiful job with those models. They're gorgeous. I think Michelle and Naj, my cover artist, combining them two together is like magic. Like the
Yeah.
way those covers came together, Mary Jamal is one of my favorite covers. Thank you.
Even like they with the Born Darkly, um Madly Darkly Duet. That's what it was. Okay. I like the newer the updated cover as well.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yes, with the hands with the keys. Yeah. Again, Naj, she just we she I think we've been working together. I think I want to say about, has it been 10 years, 14? I don't, it's been a long time. It's been
Wow.
a decade or better. So,
Mhm.
and that was one of the first covers that we worked on together or that she designed. And the London cover for that was iconic. We loved it. So we didn't want to drift too far away from that. So we took some of the main aspects, like with the key on her hand with the tattoo.
Mhm.
But since that, like the whole duet idea for that came to me with London reaching for these keys. And I'm like, gosh, I've always wanted to capture that on the cover. And Naj is like, I can do this. I can do this now. Like we're one upping each other, So
Yeah.
I'm one upping myself. She's one upping herself. She's like, I got this. I can do this. And she showed me the cover. And I'm like, that is brilliant. That is perfect. That's exactly how I see it. So I'm so happy we can bring this to life now.
Mhm. And kind of like if for people if they haven't had a chance to read it, if they read it, it makes sense what that cover, like why that
Yeah.
cover it is. Um, I love
Yeah,
Grayson.
no, I love being able to do that. Like if you read something or you see something on the cover and you're like, well, I don't know what that's about, but it looks kind of interesting. And then hopefully when you get to that scene, you're like, oh my God, that's what the scene is.
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit more exciting, I think.
Oh, I mean, if you read that book one again and then a cliffhanger, it's like, oh my god, what just happened? Like I wasn't even expecting that without spoiling it for people. Um, it was unexpected when you get to that cliffhanger. I was just like, what? That is
Yeah,
not what I
we might
thought.
like cliffhangers a little bit. So
Yeah.
again, we like to torture.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think we complain about them, but they really make a book.
it does. Because
Yeah.
then you're like, I need the second, or I need the continuation, so I know what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Because you left me in this thing where like you kind of answered some questions, but then you open like you gave us more questions like that you have to answer the next
Yeah.
one.
I think
So
that kind of goes back to like again, like 80s, 90s. We were used to waiting for our
mhm.
series, right? We weren't
That's
giving that
right.
instant gratification. We had to wait, and we got to have that whole build up, waiting for the anticipation. And I think I still love that. I love reading a cliffhanger. I love watching a series where I got to wait and to get that hit of gratification and being left like that.
Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah.
probably always do cliffhangers. Yeah.
I don't know.
Just a warning.
Just a warning for everybody. Moving forward. um so we know you co-wrote Marrow with Bryn Weaver.
hmm
Um was it easier or harder to write it because it was a co-write?
I would just have to say that it was different. I don't think that it was easier or harder. I was very much a solo writer where I just kind of talk to myself or talk to the walls and, just kind of get through it the best I can with each book. And then with writing Marrow, she wrote from Kyrie's point of view, I wrote from Jack's point of view. So it was just different. But it was, like I said, not harder, not easier, but it was fun in the way that I would get her chapters and I would see, oh my gosh, okay, so Kyrie and Jack did this together. And I'd be like, okay, all right. So then I would play off of it and we would discuss, okay, wouldn't it be fun if they did this? I'm like, okay. And then I would write the chapter, then I would give to her. So there was things that we wrote in each chapter that were a little bit of surprise to the other and things that we talked about, like plot points that we wanted to get to for the overall character arcs and for the overall plot. But yeah, we just kind of went off like I would write a chapter, she would write a chapter, and we would talk about it and play off of it. So it was just different, but it was fun. But I don't think it was. There's no such thing as writing a book that's easy. I don't think. I think that book it's hard. It's a lot of hard work. It's rewarding,
Hmm.
but it's going to be different and difficult in its own ways, but fun.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot. Give me 3 words to describe your books. I love this
Oh my
question.
God.
Only 3.
Just three.
Oh, only three. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. That is a really
You know
hard
what?
one.
I'm gonna do the
I'm gonna
Jeopardy
start
theme
easy.
song.
I'm gonna do dark.
Oh
Okay, we're
God.
just gonna do
Okay.
easy. We're gonna do dark, emotional, and
Okay.
evocative. Does that work?
Oh,
Or
that's a first.
we could do I was gonna say we could do complicated.
I like evocative though.
Okay, yeah. All right, so there's evocative, emotional, and dark. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
We
That's a
always ask
favorite one.
questions like
I
no,
love
we
it.
always say only three, but we're not the ones thinking about it.
Woo, I'm actually sweating over here. So on the spot.
Yeah, we like to put
Sometimes,
authors on the spot.
yeah. Well, sometimes authors or guests, they're like, "Can I see the questions first?" I'm like, "Shit, no."
No, that it's no fun. Yeah, never send me questions. Yeah, I mean, I can't be blamed for the things that actually come out of my mouth, but just, you can always edit before it goes by.
Sure.
uh, no, we were like, I think we've had one author where just like all of three of us were just like dropping F words here and there. But it was just like, I was like, okay, well, we at least we know we can do this. We're not like
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
feel
no,
out.
see, I've gotten better about that. Normally, I will drop an F-bomb like every other, but I've gotten better and more practiced about containing myself. So,
um, well, to put you on the spot again,
Again.
do you by chance have a favorite FMC and a favorite MMC out of all your books?
um, yeah, I mean, honestly, Halen really
Yeah.
is probably, it, well, actually, it is hard. Okay, hold on. Well, I just got done rewriting and reworking Lovely Bad Things, and I have to admit, London was a lot darker than I remembered her, right? Because it's been like 8 years, and going back into London's mind, I was like, you're you're kind of
But
dark.
she was.
So she was, and then Blakely, because I had to rework Cruel and Malady, right? And Blakely was so much fun. I forgot just how compulsive she was. She just had no fear. Like she was just in it. And I had so much fun with her and Alex because the first half of the book, it's like they're just so funny together. And I was like laughing with them because Blakely, she's a psychopath, right? So she doesn't let emotions hold her back or hinder her. So she would just dive, no fear right into a situation. And so that was fun. Halen, I think, is a little bit more. I probably feel a bit closer to her just because of the emotional struggles that she goes through.
Mhm.
And I think that there was a lot of parts of her that were harder for me to write, and she made me a better writer by opening me up to that and letting me do that. So I think I feel closest to her.
Okay.
Okay.
Now that you said about it, it's like about London. I was like, when you start reading her, she didn't seem that way until you get to like book two. It's like it opened her up, you know.
Yeah, she goes dark.
Those
I
dark.
forgot about it.
Yeah, 'cause book one, it's almost like, if I remember correctly, she's the therapist, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, she's the therapist. So she's just like, almost kind of like chill. And then as Grayson kind of like, and you can kind of like tell, like Grayson's like little by little, almost like manipulating her. Like, get to that cliffhanger. And I was like, oh, and then you start book two, it's just almost like two different people that you're
Yeah.
reading. It's still the same.
Once
It's
she once she opens the door, she
yeah,
walks through it. There's no going back.
right.
So,
It's
yeah.
that Pandora's box like
It,
open.
exactly. Yes. So like getting to write her again was just like I was just like, wow. I almost feel like my earlier stuff was darker than my stuff now.
Oh.
which is kind of strange,
That's
like
interesting.
usually like you would, it's kind of strange too, because like I'm writing about love, which literally the series title is Dark Adaptation, right? It's about going
Hmm.
dark little bit increments into the darkness, getting used to it, right? So you can go darker and darker. And which is so weird because you would think that the more that I get used to writing darker subject matter, I would be going darker with my characters, but they
Yeah.
started out much darker than I feel that they are now, or maybe I'm just desensitized. I don't know. It could be it too.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. It
I think
always
we
seems like,
all are.
and yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I always say, like, oh, I don't think that's gonna top it, like, go darker. And then something comes out, I was like, no, never mind. There's other things that could be darker than what I've read before, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. You could always go darker.
Mhm. Yeah. I almost forgot that Cruel Melody um, thing where it was another, they're both serial killers, right? Or like assassin
Well,
serial killer.
Blakely didn't start out that way. Blakely was a psychopath who, because not all psychopaths are serial killers, that's a misunderstanding, that she brings up quite often. She was very on the straight and narrow. She was very black and white, where she was revenge for hire, but she did it because she was good at it, because she had no
Hmm.
empathy and she could perform the task and she could make money at it. And it was a way for her to kind of break through that, Teflon layer. That's hard, that thrill seeking thing, but do it in a way that didn't have any real consequences, like jail time. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but she never would have been. I don't think, well, there's a question there where she's like, would I have ever gone that far? She doesn't know if she ever would have gone that far, right?
Yeah.
But Alex kind of forced it, with the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think that she would have eventually, though. She would have been a killer without Alex.
Hmm.
It's almost like not compete, well, kind of like competing, but like they're, again, it's like that one upping each other,
Yes,
but they're funny. Like, well, Blakely's funny, but
I honestly think that, yeah, Blakely and Alex is probably, I feel like my, I don't know, like, I guess dark humor. They had a lot of dark humor between them, especially once Blakely decided that she needed to get revenge on him.
right.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, she
it was
tasered him, so it was a whole thing.
well because for him it was like, I don't know if like it's like that thing where like, do I kill her kind of thing or not? But like it's just because like they're attracted to each other, but also at the same time it's like, well, I have
Yeah.
to kill you or something.
I don't know
Yeah.
why all my characters want to kill each other. I don't know. There's something maybe not right in my brain sometimes. I don't know. But I'm just like, look, it's very similar. Hate and love. Okay. Very viscerally felt on both spectrums. So I kind of feel like if you're going to fill one, you kind of need to fill the other.
But
Yeah.
I think it makes good for like banter, like how, like, especially when their banter is like the humor, the inappropriate humor that's like you should not find it funny, but it is funny
Oh,
while
I
you're
agree. I agree. Enemies to lover, 100%. It's my
Oh
favorite
yeah.
trope of all time.
Yeah. All that hate. That's foreplay.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
um. Now, and I know I don't even know if you can answer this question, but we're gonna go with it anyway. Which do
Oh
you
boy.
really? Which no, because you. All right, let me just ask it. Which do you prefer to write? If you don't have to choose, but would you say you like to write mafia as over stalker romance or vice versa?
Oh no, that's a good question. I love actually, like, I love reading dark mafia
Mhm.
romance. It's like one of my go-to genres. Like when I want to read just a straight like possessive male who's
Yeah.
going to do everything for her, burn the world. That
Hmm.
is my go-to genre. Like I love it. So I really love writing it too. I
Okay.
feel like I want to write more dark mafia romance. Like I said, I wish I was a faster writer that I could churn out books a little bit quicker. Dark Mafia it's not easier or harder for me. It's just different again because it focuses a little less on the plot, more on the romance.
Mhm.
So I have to find ways to put tension in there, just solely based around a lot around the romance, right? So it's a little bit
Mm.
harder for me. So it's not even easier to write for me. I think with writing kind of like these crime, I don't even know what genre, I guess, to call them, like stalker, serial killer, crime, true crime, not true
Mystery,
crime, romances,
yeah, like mystery suspense type.
mystery suspense type romances.
Yeah, yeah.
I like, well, while I feel like without that element that the romance wouldn't be the same. I feel like the romance, the kind of love that these characters have for each other is kind of developed out of the plot side by
Mm-hmm.
side. Um, so I kind of need that plot working in order for their, just like with Lovesick, it's kind of hard to explain, but Lovesick's all about uh not Alex. Oh my gosh, now I got Alex stuck in my brain. See, I don't know my own character's names. What's his name? Oh, Orion, there we go. Orion's an astrophysicist, right? So, who happens to be a serial killer, because why not? They all are. Um, but he's very, very heavily focused on space, on the stars. And so the whole plot of the book is focused around space, astrophysics, quantum mechanics, and it's
Mhm.
finding ways to weave that together. Okay, like I'll give you an example. Okay, so like while I know I'm just going to ramble, you can cut me off at any
No,
point.
Oh no,
I
no.
you're
get
fine.
I get rambly, but their romance wouldn't be the same. Like if I took these same characters and I put them into a mafia romance, um, their type of love wouldn't develop the same way my other characters' love develops
Right.
because Alex, or not Alex, God, Alex, get out of there. Orion, um, he's talking in a scene, or he's kind of thinking about the way that, what is my character's name? Oh my God, I just got done by, Collins. Jeez. All right. So he's looking into Colin's eyes and he's talking about how the light that he finds there is like a nebula. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
we think about a very beautiful nebula like the Orion Nebula, right? With all these uh, lights and colors. But he's also talking about the darkness that he finds in her when he's staring at her eyes. There's these shadowed veins that go through it, and it's called dark lanes, where he sees these dark lanes that go through her eyes. So at times when he's looking into her eyes, the light that he finds there is blocked by these dust blocking particles called dark lanes. Okay.
Oh.
And I, the romance that develops out of there between them being able to find that kind of depth between the characters, I wouldn't be able to find that for any other characters. That only came out of being able to build this whole world around space and the universe between these two characters. So it's very, very intricately woven between them only, if that can kind of make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That
That
makes
was
sense.
deep.
Yeah.
I mean, if a guy looks at me and goes, "Baby, you got dark lanes in your eyes," I'm done. I'm like, "That's it. Okay,
Then actually you can
sold.
see
Give me two of those right now."
yeah.
That's
Where's the
funny.
nearest chapel?
Right.
I mean, the fact that you can see that through my eyes. I mean, what? I don't think anyone can top that. I'm sorry.
No.
Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Orion's got game. He's got a little game on Callum right now. I can see Callum giving me dirty looks. Don't even.
Callum's like, no, I'm gonna have to like one up this guy after. Uh, which kind of connects to this question. Like out of like out of all the series that you've written already, is there like a couple that kind of sneaks here and there? I'm gonna guess it's Callum.
Yes, Callum is a very loud, strong character. I have always, after I get done writing a book, I put a book down. I'm like, okay, there, I did that, done. All right, moving on. Never really had any characters kind of creep back up on me. Once I got done with it and I put them away, I was always able to move on to the next characters. No, I never had an attachment, really. That's kind of hard because we love our characters, but they
Yeah.
put me through a lot while writing books. So I'm like, okay, we're done. I'm moving on now. We're done. Um,
Yeah.
Not Callum though. Callum is he's once he got in there, I kind of actually say it's kind of strange thing because I know Callum was all about like the muse and stuff, right? I kind of have to say Callum became my muse a little bit. When I'm struggling, I kind of look to him to kind of help me. So in a way, I love and hate him. Yeah.
That's funny.
He might be like just
Yeah.
sneaking in. There's like give us a novella.
He has been asking for one, yes.
For like
But
quick
I have
update.
to finish Lovesick first. Like I feel like
Yes.
I have 3 chapters left to finish in this book,
Oh,
and like I said, I like we talked about, like I keep getting this reoccurring sickness, and I'm like, please get better so I can get this book done. I'm so tired. Like I just want it
Oh,
done.
I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. 3 chapters, it's nothing. You got this.
you got it.
Like, thank you. Yeah, we're trying.
Now, I know you told us about sick love. What
Lovesick.
about the love sick?
We just talked
Between the three of us, I mean, I can't
Look,
keep.
nobody butchers words more than me. I completely understood what you meant. Just go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other future projects you have, like that you've been thinking about or in the works that you can talk about?
Excuse me. I have one book that I've waited quite some time to write where I felt that I didn't have the skills or the ability to do it yet, but it's been brewing in my mind for years,
Oh,
for a long
okay.
time. And I have gone through the ringer kind of with Lovesick with a lot of stuff this past like year and a half, right? Where I'm like, I'm to the point now where I'm like, okay, when Lovesick is done and the next book is done, because I have Lovesick actually is a duet. It's going to be a duet, so there'll be 2 books, and I just haven't done the title for it yet. But I've decided that's my next book. I'm going to go full force
Okay.
into this book that where Hollis Row was the books of my heart, and I had been thinking about them for a long time, and I thought I'm never going to have a book of my heart again. They stole it. Oh no, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of
Oh,
felt that mourning process, after I got done writing that series. I'm like, I'll never have that again. But then I'm like, my brain was like, no, you do. There's this one right here. Don't forget. And I'm like, but I'm not there yet. I'm not ready. I have these arguments with myself all the time. But now my brain's like, you're getting old, bitch. You better. So I'm at the
that's
point where I'm like, yeah, we better.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna actually write the book of my heart, or yeah, on the next one. So,
Oh, I'm
and it's
excited for
not
that.
going to be a crime book. That's all I'm gonna
No?
say. No.
Okay.
We're switching gears. That's good. Yeah. Something new. So you, so you said the Lovesick one is going to be a duet, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Actually, it was planned for a duet. And I will say this too. Lovesick is going to be quite long, so it's not. I think it's going to top out. Well, for me, it's a long book. That's the reason why also it's taken a long time to write. It's going to top out probably close to 90,000 words. So it's going to feel like a full book. When you're reading Lovesick, you're not going to feel like, oh, this is a cliffhanger. Oh, it's not going to be that abrupt. You're going to have the full range of emotions with these, excuse me,
Okay.
characters as you move through it. But there has to be a second book to conclude their story, to tell their whole story. Because with these characters, I felt like there needed to be a longer intro into it's kind of hard to say without saying, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But
Right.
we needed more of this. It's definitely a slow burn. I will warn you. So,
Okay.
like, I love a slow burn, and this is a slow burn. So, one of the things, and I think that I've already kind of said this for one of the trope things, like on my Insta or something, uh, Orion was kind of difficult to write because he has obsessive compulsive disorder, just like me, the first character I've ever written with OCD. So as we were going, we were just kind of like, no, we got to go back. Me and him kept going back to the start, rewriting. It was exhausting, right?
Oh,
But
geez.
yeah, it became a whole ritual for us to constantly start over. It was exhausting. But he suffers from touch aversion. So there
Oh.
is this barrier between these characters where they can't touch. So
Okay.
I felt like this story had to have a different kind of pacing
Mhm.
and reveal for everything, being that how do you how do you write characters that are attractive and falling in love when they can't actually touch each other, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yes.
we needed to have a lot of movements between, and music's a
Gotcha.
whole thing in there too. So
Hmm.
So that makes sense. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's not something you're just gonna, oh, okay, no, I'm into you. We're gonna it's full on. It's just not how it's going to work.
Right. No, they had to actually, um, yeah, I don't know how to explain. They had to fall in love with each other's minds with a whole
Yeah.
bunch of different aspects of each other. So it's a very slow burn, but it's a long story because it's going to top out around 90,000 words. But I hope readers don't feel that they're being denied anything because there are these moments of them that are so intense together that I hope kind of make up for that. But I also don't want to write a book just because like, oh, I got to fill this many tropes or this quota or this or that. Like
Yeah.
these characters have a different story to tell and they have a different way of connecting to each other. And I didn't want to speed that along or rush that. I wanted them to have the full experience to be able to get there when they wanted to, or when they could, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
if touch is kind of like difficult, you can't like even if they're like that's the one, you can't just
Yeah.
like bam, like okay, let's get together. Like
No,
it
I
doesn't.
want the moment when he actually touches her. I want it to be like a tsunami. Okay?
Yes.
Like like
Yeah.
I want the finger on the skin to be like there are like mountains erupting
You
from
have
that one visceral touch.
yes, yeah,
Volcanoes just
right.
There you
erupting
go,
all
volcanoes.
around.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Fireworks. Fireworks. It's going to be
Besides
You
the
put
amazing.
a
the
finger
volcano.
on her.
Yeah. No, it kind of makes sense. I mean, and you kind of touch on it. Like I've read books before where it's like all the tropes are in there. I was like, wait, no, that doesn't make some of the tropes needs to come out of there. Like they don't make
Yeah.
sense. But um,
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, honestly, like I love reading a tropey book. Like, honestly, like it's like give it to me. Like when I want something that's gonna hit all the things for me, and I need that, like it feeds the craving, right?
right.
And I have books that are tropey too, that have the check marks that do that. But for these characters, for this story, um, I couldn't do that. They had a story to tell, and I'm like, well, maybe people like it, nah, maybe they won't. I don't know. I don't know. But it's the story that they wanted to tell. And I'm like, well, this is what we're going to do. So we'll see how it goes.
We're
And if
gonna put it
everybody hates it, I'll be like, you know what? There's another book coming. Don't worry. There's something
Yeah.
else in the
no,
pipeline.
it's
What
gonna be
is the
amazing.
yeah?
Thank you.
But
What's the projected release date about?
I'm not saying because we have
Okay.
something coming up for that. I've been working with someone on the sideline, and I will reveal her in time. She's
um,
put a lot of work into doing this with me, and she's kind of like my extra brain right now at the moment, and she has just put something crazy together for
Okay.
the release date reveal. So I don't want to spoil that for her, but I would just say be on the lookout here in the
okay.
next month
Okay.
for information on that coming, and we
For
just hope that it's going to be really fun.
information.
Yes, for information.
Okay.
We
Okay.
won't give any spoilers this time.
Yeah. So here in
uh,
about a month, there'll be information on that coming. But she's
inform-
done, like I said, she's just done such an amazing job, and she has really wowed me through this whole process. And I'm like, you really thought of this? And she's like, yeah, I'm going nuts with it. I'm like, go wild. Like
mm.
she's been great.
Well, we'll keep the anticipation going. Well,
Thank you.
right. So, are there any like genres or subgenres or tropes that you haven't written that you would want to write like in the future?
Um, yes. Um, I would really love to write like a dark Eldridge book, like that with kind of like dark fantasy, going back to my roots.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Um, again, like I think that when I was writing that early in my career, we grow as a writer. I had a lot of, I think, when I think back on my earlier books, I'm like, yeah, that was such a great concept, right? Like I had really good concepts and I had really great worlds. I just did not have the strength as a writer to deliver those yet. So I'm like, but you know what? I'm like, hey, I still have those concepts. I've grown as a writer, I think, I hope. So I think I could bring those concepts to life in a whole different way now. So I would really actually like to be able to do another kind of maybe even dark magical realism, honestly, is kind of really
Yeah.
what I would love to do.
Yeah.
I say do it.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I have to because I'm getting old. So yes, we will.
Oh,
I don't think so. You don't look it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Filters are great. I love them.
I
I
couldn't
hope
even
they don't
see
take
her.
those away.
No, like if you like go to her and
Oh,
No, we
uh,
love TikTok filters. Let me tell you, we love those things.
oh! I know, I
right.
know.
I know me. I love the TikTok filters because then
I
I don't have to put makeup on. I'll just pick one and
see,
just have
but
Oh,
fun.
it's
you,
great. We're so
yeah,
spoiled with them now. I never like. I don't like wearing makeup anyways. Like I just honestly, cause again, two jobs, the whole thing, right?
yeah,
I would if I had time. So when I'm just like, hey, I just need to do a quick video filter. I hope nobody takes that away. But I joke. I joke about the age thing a lot. But I will say that we are privileged and we are very lucky to grow old. So I never want anybody to
true.
mistake me thinking that I don't like being old. I love being old. It's great. I'm so lucky and happy that I got to be this age. I hope I get to be older, you know? So I don't want anybody to mistake that it's not, a joking thing because we are very lucky to be able to grow old.
Yeah, it's just as we get older, the memory is not so sharp. I'm
Oh,
living that right now.
it's shit. It's absolute shit. That's why it's taking me so long to write books now.
Marjorie's still on point. She'll say something to me. I'm like, no, you didn't tell me that. And you're like, yes. And you said you read it. I'm like, no. And then I'm like, I have to look in my TBR. I'm like, oh yeah, I read that. Yep.
Because usually I will like see it that she read it on Goodreads. Like, oh hey, you've read this. What do you think about this? And she's like, no, I haven't read it. And I was like, go to your Goodreads, it's in there.
No, it's a whole thing. Like that's why when you guys asked me that, I was like, hold on, let me go through my Kindle and see what I've read recently because I will not remember what I read last. I know that I've loved it. I'll know that I've loved it, and I'd have to do a quick refresh on it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the memory goes. I think after when you're nearing like mid 40s and stuff, it just there's something that happens when memory starts to fizzle out.
I'm past it. So
Well, you don't look past it, so.
it's
That's why I was like,
all going down.
if you follow her on Instagram, like you posted one your son, like the birthday. I think I don't remember, but like you posted something. I was like, wait, I thought that was your brother at first.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. No, yeah. He actually just turned 27. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, you're like a
Oh.
whole man now. Like, I really feel old.
Oh.
I was like, oh, I thought she was in her 30s and stuff, and I was like, wait, that's 27. Like, yeah.
Oh Lord.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
He's
That is so sweet. Thank you.
We all look amazing.
We really do. Yeah. No, we do. I think it's all the preservatives. I don't know.
Right? It's the red dye.
Right?
whatever we
Those
drink,
those green M&Ms we weren't supposed to eat growing up.
whatever we were eating growing up. I don't know. It's like we
Right.
ate whatever is out there. I mean, I grew up drinking out of like the garden hose outside.
Yeah, yeah. And nothing bad
That-
happened, but yeah.
No, I don't know. Nowadays, you can't do that. I don't think so.
I don't think you
No,
can
no.
either. I think there's some kind of parasite in there now.
Right?
I'd s-
Straight to the ER.
Yeah.
yeah. Either that or Child Protective Services will be at your house because a neighbor
No.
called and.
Uh,
Oh, all right. Let me steer this back on track. So that
I know. This is what
Um,
happens.
now, do you have, if you can talk about it, do you have any special editions coming out that you can let us know about, or is that top
I know
secret?
that there's a couple that's in the works, that they're not going to release for a while, but I can't
Oh,
mention it
okay.
or anything yet.
Okay.
So yeah, so there's something in the works for,
Good.
I want to say the mafias, something else, but I don't think I can say.
Oh, nice. So it's something for readers to look forward to. So
Yes. Yeah. And
that's
then I
good.
have some special editions. Actually, I worked with an artist,
Nice.
for a series of myself that I wanted to do something that I had complete control over making special editions, but that probably won't come out until probably next year sometime when I get done
Okay.
going through Lovesick. And I've just been working with a whole bunch of artists. I've been working with so many amazing artists doing character art and different things. So
Those are
when
my
I say
favorite.
that, yes, when I'm not just, it's taking me a long time to do stuff because there's so many different moving parts right now. And I'm like, I just need to write today, but then it's like, oh, there's 15 other things that I got to do. So there's lots of moving parts behind the scenes, but we will get the book done too.
Nice.
Is it like the ones that you're doing like for yourself, not like for, book box companies? Is it illustrated?
Yeah, there's gonna be like I have a whole bunch of different art that's coming just for like regular character art stuff, and then I have, like I said, I have special editions that I worked on for myself that's going to have um illustrations and many different covers. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, there will be a whole thing, and it will be something that's not going to be like a limited thing. It's going to be something that I hope I would be able to offer readers for a long time because it's coming straight from me.
Okay, awesome.
Because I want to have, sometimes we see things and it's like, oh my God, we want them. I always feel bad when I feel like, because I know that there's some things that I wanted or something, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this right now, right? I don't ever want my readers, especially, to feel like, oh, this is something I can't have because, it's limited or something right now.
Yeah.
I want to be able to give that to them later on too. So if it's something that they really love and they want to collect, I just want them to know that it will be available on my site for a long time. There's no rush
Oh,
to go get it, because this is
yeah.
something that I'm designing for a series myself, right? So I want everybody who wants one to be able to have one.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like with all these book boxes, and I'm just like, dude, like, I mean, at this point, I'm gonna need a third or fourth job just to like for books to buy.
I know.
Oh my God, my FOMO is for real. Like even me, I'm like, I cannot be on Instagram's the worst because there's so many
Right.
pretty pictures of
I
so many pretty
know.
books, and I'm like, I got to leave, or else I'm just gonna sit here and buy all the things, like
Well,
just so I can look at it.
right. Well, sometimes it's like you miss out. You didn't hear about like when the pre-order opened and stuff, and now they're like people are receiving it. And I was like, wait, there was a special
Where was
edition that
that?
I didn't know where was that. And then I look on like Mercari, and then like four times the amount. I'm like, no, thank you. Like I want it, but I don't want it that much.
Oh my gosh, yes, I know. I see books all the time. I'm like, oh my God, when did that get released? Like, how did you
I
guys get that?
know.
Right. There's like, especially
Oh.
like with, okay, this is a bad habit for me. It's like illustrated covers. Those are
Mm-hmm.
my obsession right now with special editions. So when I see it, it's like I didn't even hear about that.
Oh,
And then I go to Mercari and they're like $2,000. I'm like, no,
No.
no, I'm not doing it. Well, because like I'll like it, and then all of a sudden I'll get a message like, hey, I'm taking $200 off. That's still $1,800. Okay, like I'm not spending.
that is
I hate
wild.
that.
Like so wild.
Because I even like
I know.
tried to find like, okay, what was the original amount that you paid for all those books?
Well, I mean, like usually like the special editions, I don't really think most of them don't top over 100, right? They do like between 80 and 100 or so.
Yes, yeah. If it's like
Y-
depends on how many books. Like I think the one that I was looking at was like a series, so it's like 6 books.
Oh.
But it was $200 for the 6 books, and this lady's
Wow.
like two
Yeah.
thousand dollars. No, and
That's
then
so wrong.
right, I
I
was
don't
And
like,
know.
and people pay for that too?
oh, there are some people like I think one was offering it for $2,000, and I think the seller offers like, oh, I'll give a discount for like $200 off, and somebody actually paid $1,800 for it.
Whew.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, who's your sugar
Well,
daddy?
I mean,
Yeah, right?
if you love something, you love something, you want it, to one person, it might not be that much, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just that it's still wild to me though.
For
It's
me,
still wild. I don't judge anybody for what they spend though. Hey, look, if
Yeah.
you got it, you love it, there's no judgment. There's no
yeah,
judgment,
go
right?
for
'Cause
it.
there's some things that I would probably spend something for and people would probably look at me like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, don't talk to me.
Right.
If it's something with Buffy, nobody talk to me.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, well, those like random people that message you on TikTok, like, like, if you're a real sugar daddy, give me the money, I'll buy those books just
Yeah,
for
where
that.
are those guys? Yeah, where?
Like, where are they at? Like,
I know.
Um, last
So
question.
funny.
Getting like sorry about that. We're gonna. Are you attending any book signings this year or next year?
I'm actually not. So,
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. No, I'm having a little bit of, again, like we talked, like there's
Right.
some health things going on right now, and
mm,
they kind of have me bubble wrapped. So
mm,
I'm not
Aw.
real, yeah,
Okay.
me and germs, like, not that people are germy. I'm not saying it's their fault. It's not readers' But yeah, I'm kind of bubble wrapping myself for a while until I get past some things, just in hopes.
totally
So with
understand.
my health, yeah, for my health right now, and so I can continue to write and work and do, I probably won't be doing any events or any traveling for at least the next couple of years. But I'm hoping it
Okay.
will turn around. I'm hoping it will turn around after that. But I'm giving
Yeah,
myself a good long run to get completely well.
absolutely. I think that's smart. And like you said, you'll have, although it'll be sad that we won't get to meet you in person, you'll also have, some things in the works, special editions and all like that. So yeah, you always got to put yourself
Yeah,
first.
and once I get Lovesick out too, like I always do try to have the books on my website so
Hmm.
anybody who wants signed editions have access to them. So
Mm,
right now I have my shop closed just because I'm on deadline trying to get Lovesick
Sure.
finished. But once that's released, once I've taken a breather to rest, afterwards I plan to restock my site and have signed copies available again for readers, who I won't be able to meet. Um,
mhm.
and I also have something on my website too that if for whatever reason they cannot, get a signed copy, if they've bought my book anywhere else, all they have to do is send me an envelope or letter asking me for a signed book plate, and I'm more than happy
Oh,
to ship signed book plates out too.
perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
that's great. And we want to thank you
yes.
for coming here today.
Um,
Well, coming, you know what I mean, online. We're,
words.
Thank you for allowing me to do
yeah,
the blackout. Like I said, nobody wants to look at my grossness right
no,
now, I
it's
Oh
fine.
promise
no,
you.
it's okay. We have like, authors that never shown their face before. That's
Right.
like we're like,
Yeah,
oh,
so
yeah,
it's fine. We always give the choice. Um, and we're gonna send you so much healing energy and loving vibes. You're gonna get better,
Thank
and
you.
we are excited for Love
love
Sick.
saying.
Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. Be sure to follow us on all our socials and make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any new episodes. If you have any authors or topics you would like us to discuss, reach out to us on Instagram in our DMs. Well, that's all. See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.